Hello and welcome to PNW Crafter, otherwise known as Pacific Northwest Crafter. My name is Crystal and this is Flosstube episode number 13. And tonight we're going to talk about all I've been crafting in the month of May. So let's get started about what's been going on since I last spoke to you. It was about it might have been 5 weeks ago, but I definitely know it was before I went to the Spring Mingle. So I went to Spring Mingle, which is hosted by Lindy Stitches. It's an online retreat that I'm sure you've all heard about before, but I went to the retreat. I had a great time. There was a class by Kathy Harriman from Hands On Design that I took. I didn't finish the project by that point, but I have it finished now. A little preview or foreshadowing what's to come. But I did take the class, took some notes, so I'm all prepared to finish it eventually. And so that was really fun. I did a lot of the speed dating, which was awesome. One of the first people that I got matched up with speed dating was Jessica, and we became besties right away, and we were in a couple of different stitching rooms throughout the weekend and are still chatting and everything. I love the online retreats because you get to meet people from around the world and from the comfort of your home, so you don't have to pay for the cost of flying or driving out to the location or the hotel room and all that. But you still get to meet a lot of different stitchers or people that are interested in the same thing as you. So I met a lot of other people. I met Jessica, as well as Sarah and Selena and Katie and a whole bunch of other people. The speed dating rounds, I always love doing those. I got matched up with Mr. Lindy Stitches, Jason. So Jason and I chatted for a little bit. That was fun to get to meet him and chat. And yeah, it was a great time. I'm looking forward to the next one. I think I'm going to go to the summer one. I can't remember it's escaping me what the summer one's called right now. But I know she has one for summer as well as one for the fall, and then of course the Jingle Ball. And she released a video with all the different designers that will be there, including Primrose Cottage, which if you've been watching my channel, I'm a fan of Primrose Cottage. So I'm excited to get a class from Primrose Cottage, as well as Stacy Nash is returning. I love taking classes from her and Kathy from Hands On Design. So, and Liz Matthews, great lineup. It'll be hard to narrow down which classes I want to take, if I can narrow it down even. Just might be end up taking all of them, but I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a great time. What else has been going on? I'm looking down at my notes so I don't make sure I don't miss anything. The only other thing that's really happening in May is I've been prepping for a StitchCon. I'm really excited. I'm shocked it's going to be less than 2 weeks, so I'm getting even more excited. I finalized my plans for a hotel room. I got into the hotel room, a hotel that's right next to the convention center, even though I signed up late. I got my flight booked. I'm leaving like in the wee hours of the morning, so I'm driving over to Portland and then staying the night there and taking the flight out like 5 a.m. So I'll be happy to arrive on Wednesday and have some time there to get familiar with the area and then get started on Thursday for StitchCon. I've been sewing up a bunch of stuff and making little table gifts and everything. So yeah, I'm getting really excited. And I got a shout out from Pam and Steph. That was really super exciting to get that unexpectedly. So that was great. So if you've come over from them, thank you very much for watching. Hope you like what you see, and if you do, subscribe or like and give me a comment, and I'd love to chat with you about what you've been stitching as well. So let's see, what else have I been working on? I did a lot of stitching. I did lots of sewing that you'll see, and I'll show that at the end. So I'll go through what I've been stitching and haul, and then we'll kind of at the end go into what I've been sewing in case you're not interested in that portion of it. But yeah, I didn't have any FFOs this in May. Good intentions to fully finish some things, but it just didn't happen. I did start a lot of things. I had 7 different starts, and I finished a couple of them. I think in, say, July, August, I really want to focus on finishing some of my pieces so I can lower that number of whips going into the new year. But we'll see how it is. You know, it doesn't hurt to start stuff. That's part of the reason I got back into stitching, is there was the unspoken rule before when I was stitching that only one project at a time, and I just got burnt out on the project I was working on. And I love the fact that, you know what, if I want to start something new, I'll start something new. I love working on pulling out. My only problem is that I now want to stitch on a bunch of things at the same time, and I just don't have enough time. Darn work gets in the way. So let's jump into, though, what I did finish. I finished a few projects. The first one I briefly mentioned earlier was from the Spring Mingle. It was the Bees Got Knees from Hands On Design. It was a class project where she showed you how to put this all together. There wasn't any pre-stitching that was required. Based upon me and what I've done previously, and not, I still have a Jingle Ball 2023 class that I need to finish. So knowing that about myself, I did start this one before the class, and I didn't get it finished by then, but I have it finished now. So let me show you. Here we go. I'm trying to use the natural light. It's actually sunny here on the coast in Oregon, and I am facing the west, so the sun is like right in front of my window. You'll see the shadow, so I'm hoping this might be I'm hoping this will work to show you my projects, but not have the sun glaring in my eyes. So this is the bee's knees, or I'm sorry, not the bee's knees. This Bees Got Knees, and you finish it. And then I did all the back stitching and back stitching around it. So all I gotta do is put the interfacing and stitch it all together. So I'm hoping to get that done actually this weekend, because with the Spring Mingle and with a lot of the Lindy Stitches online retreats, the classes are available for 30 days after it. So I got a couple of days before that class will be gone. Yeah, but she also has really good notes and pictures, so that was great. Also part of it, if you'll notice, on the pattern are these little pins. Let's put it there. It's like the shadow, sunlight. So here's the shadow part. These little pins and everything, and I stitched a couple of those up as well. And those were really, really quick. It took a little bit for my brain to go from linen over two to the paper over one only. But other than that, little thinking about a process, they went really, really quick to stitch up. So I'm looking forward to stitching those into, or I'm not stitching, but cutting them out and making little pins. And hopefully I'll make more pins later on with different patterns. I like that idea of being able to make my own little pins for pillows and pin cushions. The next project, I'm trying to where the heck am I putting this? All right, the next project I did was one from Primrose Cottage, and it's this bag. So this is a pattern from the Stichers Trio from Primrose Cottage, and they give you conversion for all of the Pearl DMC to stitch it on one of these mesh bags by It's So Emma. I loved how it turned out. I love stitching on these project bags. I have a few of them now. I have this one, a couple for Halloween. I have one in progress for Christmas, and I have a kitted up one for 4th of July that has the word flag on it. So it's really cute. So I'm loving how this turned out. Different people have different methods of stitching them. I've heard that people stitch them upside down and such. I just stitch it as normal. I kind of scrunch up. I start over here and I work my way this way, because I'll when I do it, I usually just scrunch this up and then I'm going in and out over here on it. Yeah, it works well, and they stitch up really quick. So there's that one, and the project inside you'll see in a little bit when I get to my starts. I think it's one of the starts. Then finally, the last finish I have is actually a start and finish, and it is a super cute tiny little Maggie Mae, and she is just so stinking adorable. I stitched her on 46 count, Just the Ticket by Tabby Cat, and then I switched out all the most of the colors. I switched them all around, I know. And I posted my color conversion on my Instagram channel just the other day. It was the second slide from Maggie Mae. And yeah, it's all Weeks Dye Works. It's the same, her face, her brown parts are the same browns that are used in Harriet, the Animal Cracker Harriet from Stacy Nash. And then her sweater is, the dark is baked apple, and then the red, I think, is red pear. And then it's hard to see, but it's bright leaf and parchment. I want to say the white was parchment for her little flowers, and then Garrison green for the dress. And if you did see my Instagram post, I was undecided if her shoes should be bright leaf or if they should be baked apple. I'd stitched one in each, and I kind of slipped on it, and I like the bright leaf for her shoes. So yeah, super cute, and my plans are to fully finish her hopefully this weekend. I want to watch a couple of tutorials, look at Stacy Nash's instructions. I know Tiger Lily has a really good tutorial that people have used. So yeah, I want to Carrie from Tiger Lily, and I want to make sure that I read up and make sure that she's perfect to finish. I know I'm not going to make her into a pocket on the back for scissors, but I am going to I want to stitch her up all the way around, and then I'll probably cut a hole in it and put a little felt patch like I do my pillows and do it that way, because she has plans to go into a new stitchy box that I have in the works. You'll see more of that later. I'll put her to the side so you can see how it all goes together. But yeah, those were my finishes that I had for the month. So I had 3 finishes at least, but I did start 6 other projects. One of those that I saw everybody stitching it, and I had a lot of FOMO this month. A lot of FOMO. So I wanted to stitch it as well, but it was Tomato Hill by Plum Street. I believe this is one of their Nashville releases. They had a big sampler as well. I can't remember if it's Tomato Sampler or what the name of it. That was just a little bit too much stitching for me. But the pillow was just perfect, I thought. And so I stitched it on. I got this much done. I stitched it on 32 count Cafe au Lait by Fiber on the Whim. And I'm using all the called for. It is DMC, Weeks Dye Works, and Color and Cotton. That's in the call for. And this is about how far I got. I think this is only one night. I think I worked on it 2 nights. But it's stitching up really quick. And if I just focused on it, it would be a quick stitch. But I squirreled and went on to other things. But yeah, I like that I got that started, and we'll be planning to finish it as a pillow. My next, for whatever reason, I do not have enough room on my table tonight. Things are just going to be piled up on the floor, and that's okay. My next start was another Animal Cracker. So Tomato Hill started before the Spring Mingle. Then at the Spring Mingle, I decided to start a few things. One of them was Harriet. It's an Animal Cracker by Stacy Nash. She's a cute little British bunny. And so I am stitching her on 36 count aged paper by Color and Cotton, and that's how far I got. So this is one day stitching while I was chit-chatting in Spring Mingle and doing other things that night, but I got a lot done. I'm proud of the progress. Her dress is in Dove, I think it is, and I got to go back in and fill it in with some pink. But yeah, she's coming along nicely. And I'm loving all the Animal Crackers. I have Lily in the works. I didn't get to Lily. I thought I did this past month, but I didn't. So goal is to work on our Lily a little bit much, you know, the frog that everybody's stitching, and yeah, make her into something. The next thing I started was on May 4th, and as you may know, I am a Disney fan, which includes Star Wars. And May 4th, may the 4th be with you. I didn't have to, but I really, really wanted to start a Star Wars project. So I started A Woman's Place from Good Morning Maui. They're on Etsy. And this is how far I got. I got Ray done. And I am stitching this on 32 count LeStrange by Atomic Ranch. I love the fabric. I love the pattern. I'm not loving the floss. It's all DMC, and so far I've used the call for. And I really think her face and her outfit and their cuffs, they're just all blending together. And I'm not loving it. Even if, see, now she's in shadow up there. It's all blended together. There's not enough contrast between the two. So my plans are to go back. I still want to just use DMC, but go a shade darker on her outfit and such, just to make it a little bit more contrast. And then once I had that figured out, I can work my way over to Princess Leia. She's mostly just white in her face. I mean, her white gown and then her face. So that one should be a quick stitch once I figure out the color conversion I want to do. The Resistance little logo is like in the pattern. When I printed it out, it's like in a not dusty but more muted red. But then the call for red, 1 second. Oops. Floss got caught in my zipper of my project bag. The call for red is 321, and that is super, super, super bright. That's a super bright red. So that red might get changed as well, muted down a bit. It's just not, I'm not liking the color part, but otherwise love the pattern. So there's that one. And then during the spring wrinkle, I was influenced, peer pressured, but it didn't take much peer pressure, to buy one of the new Boomerang Stitches patterns, Snack-O-Lantern, and I am stitching it along with Jessica and Sarah, who's already finished hers, as well as Selena and a few others, I think, that are all stitching it along. I don't have a picture of it. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone real quick. It's a digital download that I got, and I bought it, downloaded it, and started it right away. I kitted up with what I had on hand and everything. I am switching up the colors of the floss and such and everything. Let's see here. I can't look and talk at the same time. All right, hold up. Snack-O-Lantern is a cute little raccoon stealing some lollipops. So it's adorable. I am switching some stuff up though. So the raccoon, as you'll see, I have him already stitched up. In my mind, the raccoon's name is Jack. It kind of reminds me of the raccoon in Jack Jack. So that little short, Pixar short, and from The Incredibles. So the raccoon's name is Jack in my head. So I have the raccoon stitched up and all the call for DMC. The pumpkin, it's two-toned with some shadowing. I'm not going to do two-tone. I'm going to put the pumpkin all in the same variegated floss because this is all in DMC. So I'm going to do pumpkin and all the same variegated floss, but with some shadowing. I'm also using some variegated for the bowl as well as the lollipops and such. So I'm changing some stuff up. I don't have it in stone yet, but when I do, I can type it out or share it with you if you are interested. Happy to share. But that's how far I've gotten so far. And he's a cute little guy. So once I had it going, it's pretty much a good chunk of filling with the jack-o'-lantern and the bowl. And I am stitching this on. Oh, I thought I had it written down. I don't. But it is 40 count Plum by Fiber on a Whim. And I just love that purple. And he's looking so cute. So yeah, stitching that along with other gals. And we will see what happens. May, the time frame was halfway to Halloween, so you'll see another Halloween whip that I was working on. But I'm really a seasonal stitcher usually, and the jack-o'-lantern, it's really cute. And I worked on it a couple of nights, but it's not calling to me. So I probably might not stitch it until we get closer to October, but we'll see. What I am feeling is all the patriotic stuff, and I've resisted working on tons of patriotic yet. I am trying to finish a couple of spring projects, but I'm really wanting to work on a lot of patriotic projects, as well as patriotic whips I have, and starts, and there's all the starts, all the things I want to do. But what I did start for Memorial Day was Liberty Pennies by Hands On Design. It's one of their cute rounds. I love it. I love the little round finish. I haven't finished any of them yet. Fully finished, that is. I have finished a few of them. I finished the Trick or Treat one, as well as the Botanical Bee. A Ladybug did not get any work done. I was very surprised. I was going back through my notes of what I worked on in May, and I did not work on Ladybug Picnic. So I want to get back to that one. But I did start Liberty Penny. I'm using all the Call for Weeks Dye Works colors, but I'm not using the Call for fabric. The Call for fabric is 32 count slate by Fabrics by Stephanie. And that is like a dark black. It's a black, but it's got some modeling in it and such. And I do have that, but it's in a different count. And 32, I wanted to use 32 count to be able to finish on that size of a board and such. And so it had that much of a statement. And I was at Acorns and Threads, and I found this piece, and I just thought it would be perfect because it has more of a blue tone to it. It's hard to see. Can you see it if we put it up here where there's shadow? A little bit more. There we go. It's a distance, but you can see the color of the fabric a little bit more. And what is the fabric you're saying, Crystal? And that would be good to know. Why did I not? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I thought I wrote that one down, but of course I did not. I also took notes, and afterwards I will post, once the video is uploaded, I'll post in the details. I'll post all the details about the projects, what I stitched them on, and the flosses I used. And if there's ever a question, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to answer the question for you. Let's see, where did I I had it. It is a 32 count. I do know that. And it is 32 count Night Sky by Fiber on a Whim. And it, again, is using all the Call for Weeks Dye Works. And that is actually just one night. And I got a good portion of it done. So I think I might be able to finish this in like 3 or 4 nights. So we'll see. Loving that one. Yeah. So that was all of my starts that I did. Isn't it? Oh no, I missed one. Oh, I missed a start. And my start was in my stitches. Nope. Sorry, decided to start playing music. Sorry about that. My start was actually in my Stichers bag. And the dog also barked there. So, all sorts of fun stuff on a Friday night. And I got this was a purchase from Primrose Cottage. It's part of their new series, the stitching series, and I got Stitching Quaker by Primrose Cottage, and I am stitching it on the called for 32 count light ash gray. I'm not 32 count, 28 count. And I'm using all the called for classic Colorworks. I got the floss pack for it. And that's where I'm at. I'm loving it. It's cute. I love all their projects. But all the little stitching details, it's stitching up real quick after a few nights. And I'm loving the variegation in the color and cotton. I mean, you see these blue spools, it goes from a really dark to a really light. That's all the same colored floss. So I'm loving how that's turning out on that. That was my last start that I had this month. But I did work on a few other projects. I tell you, the things I don't tell you about what to do in the behind the scenes is the mess that you make when you're filling a floss tube. People don't talk about the mess, but there will be a mess afterwards of all my projects going down. I was saying earlier how end of April, May, was halfway to Halloween. Actually, yeah, end of April. And last time I talked to you was like April 25th. So it was in between there. It's a Friday night. So I'm having the grown-up juice. But what I was stitching on is Halloween Alphabet. It's another Primrose Cottage pattern, and it is stinking cute. I even already bought the frame for it, so I just gotta stitch it, and then I can easily, hopefully, easily put it all together. But I got a little bit more done on it. I think I got the rest of this alphabet because I think I already had I had just the moon previously. I got all the way over and I started over down here. And I am stitching this on 32 count vintage country mocha, and it's with all the call for classic Colorworks. Nope, not classic Colorworks. Yeah, no, classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works are the call for colors. And it's so stinky cute. I love Halloween on vintage country mocha. I know, it's something with the black and the brown modeling. I love that. I love a lot of things on vintage country mocha. A lot of Brandon Gervais stuff is on that, and I like it. So I would stitch on that a little bit, but I'll put that back probably until closer to October. One of the spring projects I was trying to work on a little bit more was Spring House by Liz Matthews. And this is with the 2 tones of fabric and such. I'm not using the call for fabric, but I am using the call for DMC. For the top, I am using Hydrangea by Atomic Ranch. And these are both pieces of fabric are 36 count. So I got more of the house done and the windows, and I got more of the flowers done. So it's coming along. But that's where I'm at for spring, the top part. And then the bottom part is being stitched on Friendship Green by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I got some more of the stems in, as well as I think I put some of the little light purple flower parts in. And that's where that is. Here, let's see if I can pull them both up at the same time, so you can kind of see what it's going to look like.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Oh my goodness, my phone just keeps on wanting to, thinks I keep on talking to it, and I don't. It's even on silent. All right, oh, here we go. So that's what it's going to eventually look like together. Here. It does line up. I tested it. I got the bottom portion of this and I got the top portion of this and I lined it up, and it does line up very well. So even though they're 2 different manufacturers, they do line up. So I'm happy with that. But I'll probably put it away until next spring because I do have the beach, what's it called? Seaside, I think. But it's the beach themed one. From same kind of premises from Liz Matthews with the 2 tones and a house in the ocean underneath it, and I love that. That's what got me into all this and got me signed up for her Patreon. So I'm looking forward to stitching on that this summer as well. Yeah, it's called Seaside. The next one that I worked on is Tis Spring from Brenda Gervais. This is my spring season stitch, Brenda Gervais stitch. I'm trying to stitch one of her little pillows that look like this in every season. It's how I got through Seasons of the Heart book last year. So I decided to do that again this year. It was a good thing. So I started this on the first day of spring, and my goal is to finish it by the last day of spring. And I'm getting there. I have until June 20th, I think. Yeah, I'm using it. I am stitching it on the call for fabric, vintage country mocha. I think it's 40 count, and then with the call for floss as well, which some of it you actually coffee dye. I did that in as well. I'm loving it, how it's turning out. But I had to get more of the spring and such, and the bird. So yeah, need to fill in just a little bit here as well as more here. Coming along nicely. That house was the main part of that one. And then last thing that I worked on is my work stitch, meaning I work on it when I'm at work for my lunch break and such a little bit. I didn't get much of it done this month, but it's Strawberry Quilt by Primrose Cottage. And I just got a couple more little strawberries and little white motifs done. I think I got a couple more here. Inch by inch, it's getting there. Cute little finish when I'm done with that one. And that, my friends, is all the stitching I did. That was a lot of stitching and such. It felt like a very long month and a lot of stitching. Well, I was stitching on the same things. I stitched a lot on Maggie Mae and on This Bee's Got Knees to finish them up. So yeah, but I did have time to work on a few other things. Which one was it? The stitching Quaker, since it's on 28 count, it's really nice for me to see without a magnifier. And there's been some really gorgeous days out last weekend and this week outside. So I've been sitting outside, soaking up the vitamin D and stitching outside, and that's been really fun. I've been enjoying that. So that is where I am with stitching. We can move on to haul. As you saw, I had a little bit of haul from Primrose Cottage. There was the Stitching Quaker that I bought, but I also bought the other two of them in the series, the Stitching Quilt and Stitching Rolls. And I did buy the floss pack. It contains a lot of the call for is mostly color and cotton with one DMC in there. So I don't have color and cotton at Acorns and Threads. I mean, they're getting a little bit, but it wasn't any of the colors in the pattern, I don't think. So I ordered it from, I like ordering the floss pack. I can get all of them together from Primrose Cottage for those. But then I also love ordering their finishing kits, and I got those for all of it. And this is for the rules. I really do think, well, I'm debating. I don't know if I'll do them as pillows or if I want to do them all together as this, like in the board. My initial thing was to do them as pillows, but then I really do like it all together. It'd be cute to hang up on the wall, except I'm in a place where I'm in a rental, so I can't, and I'm not allowed to put holes in the wall, so it's a little bit hard to hold. The command strips only hold so much. So yeah, that's the debate I got going in my head. We shall see. Who knows when I'll actually get to stitching it, but I will eventually. I then got some fabric. I got some fabric from XJU Design. I ordered from her Etsy shop, and it came, and hold on a second, let me see. The light actually went out. So you'll be moving this way, and then you'll be moving back as I turn down the light. We had clouds, imagine that, in Oregon. Oop, sorry. It's the whole editing process. But I had it set for light just in case I lost the sunlight. So XJU Design, everybody's been stitching on it, and I had FOMO. I got some of the dark soil. Did I get this all in 36 count? I did. I got all 36 count. So I got some dark soil. Where did my board go? Board's right in front of me. There's that one. And then I got Morning Coffee, which is really nice brown. I like that one. And then brown paper. I thought was a great neutral. So actually, let me hold on. That one's brown paper. And then Morning Coffee. And then dark soil. And then she was super nice and sent a piece of autumn gold. Nice yellow. Be good for a little ornament, I think. So I got some of that fabric. And then I was on a fabric kick. Not like I don't have enough fabric, but I don't know what made me get more. Oops. Ah! Piles are falling. It's all behind me. I went to Acorns and Thread, and I got more fabric. it's mostly fabric that they rarely have. One piece I really did need. One of it, which one was it? Yes, broomgrass. Huh. I didn't realize I got that much broomgrass. And that explains why my bill was what my bill was. But I like the fabric. I do like the fabric. I love the color. This is broomgrass. It is for Stacy Nash's. Oh my goodness gracious! It's the one with the red barn. It's a called for fabric for the new Nashville Market release from Stacy Nash with the red barn on it. The name of this sampler is escaping me, but y'all know it. I got that piece. And then Needle Bling also had, there was another piece from Needle Bling that I really liked, and Wing Beans. And so I got some of that. And then I also got from Cedar Riverlands Scrimshaw. And this has a nice yellow undertone. And I do have a project in mind for this one that I will tell you about later in my plans. So that one will make a reappearance. And then this one was by Seraphim Old Stationery, 40 count. I just love the color of that one. I thought it was a good neutral. In a color I don't have. So yeah, so now I can just go shop for my stash on those. They also had some of the Barn Door Lady Dot Creates chenille that I got. Some Just Pins. This is for the there's a Hair in My Garden carrot that I have all kitted up but haven't started yet. From Hands On Design, that is. And then they had some patterns on sale, so I picked up Hannah Ann Wallace 1850 by With a Needle and Thread. I really love the flowers in this one. And I'm not minding the alphabet. It's small and it's just a little statement here. I like that. The thing that I don't like, I'm not big on stitching somebody else's name in it. I don't know. So I might redo this one, but I love the colors and I thought this was really pretty. So I got that pattern. And then in preparation for the summer, I got Summer Fragment by the Shakespeare's Peddler. I'm stitching the spring one, so I wanted to get the summer one and be prepared for that one. And then I kept on seeing Handmade by Sarah W. post her little Biscornu by the French flea market Biscornu by Heartstring Samplers, and I just absolutely love it. I don't know what it is about it. The blues are just so pretty. So I got the pattern and I was pondering it. I think I didn't get the floss yet. And I think what I want to do, the call for is Weeks Dye Works. I think I want to switch it up to Belle Soie and stitch it up in some blues Belle Soie. Those are the thoughts I had on that. What else did I get? Let's see. There was a bunch of floss that was in there that I needed for some different projects that I kitted up. I didn't realize I had this many patriotic pieces that I kitted up, but I kitted up a lot of patriotic stuff. I have a lot of patriotic whips as well when I was going through those the other day, and I have a lot of patriotic finishes as well. I really like the patriotic stuff. So I was kind of thinking, this is kind of jumping ahead, but I was kind of thinking maybe on the next Flosstube showing you what I FFO'd for patriotic, what my patriotic whips are, as well as my kitted up ones. So in 2 weeks instead of 4 weeks, because the 4 weeks seems really long in between. I tried it for a few months to see how I liked it, and I'm forgetting, like, what did I do 4 weeks ago? So I'm contemplating it. We shall see if I come back by then. All right, that was a tangent, squirrel. But I also got from Fat Quarter Shop, I got some floss, as well as I got a little mini charm pack of Bee Garden that I plan to make into a project bag for myself, because from Pink Chihuahua Fabrics on Etsy, they had some of the other fabrics from that same line. And I want to use that as some of the backing. And I'm thinking the binding for this one, or binding in this, and make myself a bee project bag, because you never can have enough bee project bags. And then they have this really cute neutral, and it's just a bunch of scissors. It's kind of like a gray on white. Ooh. That you can kind of see. Trying to hold it there. There you go. You can see it there. It's like gray on white and such. That one. So I got fabric because I've been doing a lot of sewing. And my sewing with the project bags. Looking at my notes to see what the heck I'm missing and all that. Some other projects I did do were, some of the haul I got from Sweetwater. I am part of their project Sweetwater. So I got this month's, which is their threads. Came with a dessert roll as well as a little charm pack. And you get some cute little labels. And then you also get, I might save those out to use for something else. And then you get some projects of what to do with the fabrics you got. It's really cute. Also part of their label club, so I got some of their labels. That was this month's. This is cute little Made in America. So that was from Project Sweetwater, because like I said, I did a lot of sewing. So we'll go into that. And it kind of, the sewing morphs into stitching a little bit. So some of the sewing is I had from Primrose Cottage last year. I can't remember when exactly last year. I want to say in the fall. They had a kit for this fabric line that I absolutely love the colors. It has green in it, which is my favorite color, and then it has pink, which is my second favorite color. And it's from the Evermore line. And they had this pattern. And I'm trying to show you the whole thing. It's a cute little mini quilt. And I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I'm actually getting better at this. My corners, they're actually meeting up. So practice does make, not perfect, but it's making it better. I mean, there are some mistakes in here, don't get me wrong, but I'm liking my progress on these. So I stitched that up because I wanted to use, the reason I wanted to stitch this one up is because I wanted to see what I had for leftovers, because I wanted to make some other stuff with the leftovers. So I had a lot of leftovers, but then I bought some more fabric to go with that, including another charm pack, because I got a harebrained idea watching all these other Flosstubers and like, ooh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What did you do for the Stitch Gun? Ooh, what are you doing for retreats? And I decided that I need a whole matching set for Stitch Gun. And I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Nobody has to do this, but I just wanted to do it for myself, so I'm doing it for myself. I made a stitchy mat. This cute little stitchy mat. And from the Evermore fabric. And I just did a little simple quilting, and I put batting in. I put batting in between. And I followed the pattern that Jessica Sweetwater, the Sweetwater Stitcher, that she has on her YouTube channel. And she tells you different ways of, like, if you want to put a stitch piece and so forth. So I kind of followed that, and I made my own dimensions on the pockets, because this one here, let me grab, fits perfectly this stand. So it's one of those metal stands that everybody has. I got it to match. But it fits perfectly in this pouch for storage. And then my phone fits perfectly in one of these pouches for when it's sitting on the table. And my plan is then to just fold it up. I have some ribbon that I just tie around it. And I have it all encased. So that was project 1 with this fabric for that. Then project 2 was I then was watching, again, Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher and Nicole Spore, who Jessica referred to in regards to that she made a tote bag out of charm packs, and I had to make one myself. So this is a Riley Blake design pattern. It's on their website, and should be able to link it below. And it's just charm packs, and they call for batting in between the layers, and I use Soft and Stable. And yeah, this is what it turned into. Cute thing. It's heavy because I have stuff in here. I'm trying to put all my Stitch Con stuff in here, so I'm ready, easier to pack later. But yeah, and it's just got some box edge or corners on the bottom and such. It doesn't have, like, you see how it's squishy and pliable. I'm thinking about getting just some mat board. I have some really thick mat board in a big old sheet that I can cut down and maybe cover up with some fabric, just to kind of put it on the bottom of this to make it a little bit steady. But it sits up on its own pretty nicely with stuff in it right now. I mean, see it there. Yeah. And then what I did is Riley Blake has, they suggest leather handles, but I just had some fabric and I made some fabric handles. And I put some stabilizer in them to make them a little bit more stiff, but they're not overly stiff, as you can obviously tell. And it fits nicely over my shoulder. And I'm loving it. And you're like, oh wait, there's more. And then I decided, well, what else can I make with the fabric? I have plans to make a project bag for my Halo Go Light, so that one, I want to make it with Soft and Stable so that it's protected a little bit more in my suitcase and so forth, but it's also, it'll look cute. So that is in the works, and for that I wanted to use snaps to close it. I have an idea of the pattern, and I don't have a pattern for that. Like, I haven't looked anywhere for a pattern. I just in my head have a pattern that I think will work out for the measurements on that. And once I have it finished, if anybody wants to know the sizes, dimensions, I usually write them down, so that way if I wanted to create another one I can. But I'm happy to share that with anyone that asks. And anyways, going back though, I wanted to use snaps for that. I knew that, but I've never worked with snaps. I have the snaps, I've had them for a while, but I haven't used them. So I decided to make little thread catchers. So these are cute little thread catchers that from the Primrose Cottage, Nettie. She had a little tutorial. And she used, I think it was a 6.5 by 6.5. I just had leftover charms from the charm pack. I still have a lot more charm packs too, or charm pieces from the charm pack. And I just used that. So I modified where the snaps go just a little bit from what hers was. And yeah, cute little, there, folds up nice and neat. And then I can just put it, snap it together real quick. And I mean, it's a smaller little thread bed, but it still does the trick. I'm not going to be filling that puppy up. Probably going to be chit-chatting. As you can tell, I chit-chat. But I'm happy to have that. And I made a couple other ones from some charm packs I had left over from before. These were my prototypes. This one is using on the tutorial, Nettie had it where she had like a little jig thing where she said, this is where you put the snaps, and that's how I made this one. But I didn't like the look of this one necessarily, because I made it smaller. It looks more, almost looks like a wonton to me. But, so I moved out the snaps, and so it makes a bigger square. You can kind of see that. See, they fit into each other. Those were my prototypes of that. And that morphs into plans of making a case for my lamp, as well as I want to make a new little stitchy case. And if you recall, Maggie Mae matches. So it's going to be so stinking cute. So I'm excited for that and everything. And yeah, that's it. That was a lot of stuff. And I have a lot of big plans in my head for more in June, going into June. I'm going to still keep on prepping for StitchCon, making those things I was mentioning. I know based upon other people I've heard that I do want to get some projects together that are just fill-in. I don't think I have a lot of fill-in. If I do have fill-in, it's a smaller account, which I definitely need my light for. The Halo Go is really great. In my battery, I use it on the lower light setting, so my battery lasts a little bit longer, but it doesn't last forever. So I wanted to make sure that I get a couple of other projects that are on 28-32 count, so I can stitch without a magnifier or maybe just my readers on for that. So I'm gonna get those together. I'm working on some table gifts. I did that little sew project as well. And then I want to fully finish Maggie Mae as well as This Bee's Got Knees. And what else? I want to stitch all the patriotic stuff. As I mentioned, I have a lot of patriotic whips, and I think that one bin is practically full of patriotic. Is that the... Yeah, nope, not that one, but that one. All patriotic with like two, like one's bees and one is seaside. I think the rest is all patriotic on that one. But then I also kitted up about the same number of projects, but they're also darling and I love them all. So I'll be working on patriotic a lot. And then I do have FOMO about the honeybee sampler. So I believe it is Stitching Ocala Cosmo. Oh, good Lord. I should have written it down. Apologies. I believe it's Cosmo Stitches, or Como Stitches. And then, Floss and Blocks are doing a sale. The Floss and Blocks, I might have the name wrong too. So sorry. But they're doing a sale, stitch along for the honeybee sampler, and I wanted to stitch along. I want to start that. They started back on the 17th, I think. I just ordered my project. I ordered from Lindy Stitches the pattern as well as I'm gonna do it. Butter Pecan Belle Soie. I saw that from Nicole Spohr and I love. And then I went and looked at it at Acorns and Threads when I was there. They only had like one or two, and I know I needed 3, so I didn't want to get 2 and then the other one be really off on the color, the dye lot. So I got them all 3 from the same place, and then I'm going to stitch it on this, which is that Cedar River Skirmishaw. And if you hold it up against white, you can see it has like a yellow undertone. I think that will be so pretty. So looking forward to that. And then Marjorie May, I believe it is doing a Strawberry Moon sale in June. When the Strawberry Moon, I feel like I want to do that. I don't know if I have anything with strawberries on it right now besides the Strawberry Quilt in the berry basket, which I've already started. So maybe I'll do a Strawberry Moon whip already started, kind of long. Or I'm part of Hello from Liz Matthews and Patreon, and she just released a pattern that has strawberries on that was really cute. So we shall see on that one. And yeah, it's a lot of plans. Lots of plans. Not enough time ever. But I'm sure that's for all of us. But yeah, so that was all I got for you tonight. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be waiting 4 weeks or I might come back in 2 weeks. That way it's not so much piled up and I feel more accomplished because, I don't know. I feel like I kind of like the 2 weeks, but I tried out every 4 weeks to see how it went. I'm not setting it in stone every 2 weeks. It kind of depends upon work as well. I do have a busy July coming up for work. So we'll see how that one goes and what I feel like. But yeah, I enjoyed showing you everything I've done so far. Excuse this few interruptions that were from dog barking and phone deciding to listen to me when it never ever listens to me ever any other time. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great weekend and lots of crafting time, and I will see you later. Bye.